Paramount, we need to talk. Where do I begin? Ah, yes. This movie is about Emily Elizabeth, who is having a rough time in middle school, later went into the animal rescue tent in some kind of carnival or fair or something. Then she found a puppy named Clifford. However, Clifford turned 10 foot long. Clifford wreaks havoc around Manhattan until Zach Tiernan wants to get him for an experiment. Now, a few hours ago, I watched this movie on Paramount Plus, and what do I think of it? This movie was garbage in my opinion. I don't like this film. Let me tell you the reasons why this movie isn't big enough, meaning why I don't like this film. One, to get the cat out of the bag. The whole movie premise is so stale. Like, this movie uses the whole entire governor trying to capture creature slash thing for experiment cliche. Wow, Paramount. Very original. Not. Two, the CGI on Clifford the Big Red Dog is so uncanny. Like, this movie should have been released in the 2010s decade. Which makes the CGI on Cats 2019 a run for its money. Can Clifford and the other animals be 2D fluid, feel like animated instead, just like how Warner Bros. And Warner Animation Group's Tom and Jerry did that instead? 3. The acting on the humans were mediocre. Well, except for 2 that I'll go later in the redeeming qualities section. 4. Executive meddling. This movie was originally going to be made by Universal Pictures through Illumination Entertainment, but Universal realized that Hop failed, it got transferred into Paramount instead. 5. Several and generic characters. Well, my least favorite character in this movie is Uncle Casey, because he feels like a jerk, and he sometimes acts like a gluttony. And don't ever get me started on the villain named Zach Tiernan. Gosh, he's so generic and unlikable. Who wants to capture Clifford and that's it? 6. Shameless product placements of Honeycomb, Little Debbie, and Carl's Jr. Ironic that this movie also has a promotion for Carl's Jr. kids meals. 7. This movie has several jokes that are unfunny and very inappropriate for a movie like this. 8. Aside from the unfunny and inappropriate jokes, there was also some uncanny gross out humor. 9. Probably throughout the film, it probably focuses more on the humans, especially Emily Elizabeth, other than Clifford the Big Red Dog. 10. The 96-minute pacing is bland and boring in my opinion. I mean, it feels like it should be 1 hour and 40 minutes instead. 11. Sort of a misleading title. The title's movie is probably about Clifford the Big Red Dog, but like I said earlier, it probably much focuses rather the humans other than Clifford the Big Red Dog. So yeah. Now before I wrap up this rant of why I don't like this film, let's do I have redeeming qualities? Yeah, I guess so. My redeeming qualities of this film is, aside from the generic acting of the human characters, John Cleese and Kenan Thompson's acting were good enough, I guess. Who played Mr. Bridwell and the vet in the movie. You probably know these two actors. John Cleese is the voice actor of King of Far Far Away from Shrek 2, and Keaton Thompson is the I mean, uh, is the voice actor of Tiny Diamond from Trolls World Tour. 2. The scene where Clifford saves a man falling from the roof while he's managing the satellite is interesting. In fact, I think it's the only scene that I like from this movie. And 3. The end credits are well drawn in book style. Overall, in conclusion, I don't like Clifford the Big Red Dog 2021 movie. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're willing to watch this movie ironically, like how I did when I watched this movie on Paramount Plus, then it's up to you. So yeah. Richard Robinson, the CEO of Scholastic, correct me if I'm wrong, who passed away, deserved better than this. I'm gonna give Clifford the Big Red Dog a 2.5 out of 10. So yeah, that was my rant on Clifford the Big Red Dog. And sorry if I go a little up the roof, because I know this video is a regular rant, not an extreme rant because it's old. And it probably proves that you might be immature for making those. So yeah. Overall, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.